Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're in the wine aisle, deciding between two bottles. They both look basically the same. They both say Cabernet Sauvignon from Sonoma County. They both have great scores from professional critics, and they both have a pretty little picture on the label. In fact, the only difference you can really spot is the price tag. One costs $20, while the other is $115. You can't help but wonder, why does one of these bottles cost almost 6 times more than the other? And even more importantly, with aching, disturbing curiosity, you wonder, is it actually worth it? Today, we're gonna find out because we are blind testing highly acclaimed cheap wines versus expensive ones. But before we pour, let's look at what actually drives the cost of a bottle of wine. One of the biggest factors is where it comes from. Regions like Sonoma County, Bordeaux, or Burgundy are known for producing world-class wines. Their climate and soil create perfect conditions for growing grapes, and that reputation alone drives up prices. But even within the same famous wine region, why do some bottles cost way more than others? It mainly comes down to one thing: specificity. A wine labeled simply as Sonoma County can source grapes from anywhere in the region, making it cheaper to produce. But as you narrow it down from Sonoma County, then to a specific district inside of it, like Alexander Valley, the price goes up. In fact, the price goes up even further as you narrow it down to a single vineyard, and even more when you narrow it down to a specific part of a vineyard. That's what's happened here with these two wines. This $20 one is from Alexander Valley, so they used grapes from all over this 30,000 acre region to make this wine. The $115 wine has a ton more specificity. They made this wine from 3 specific acres in a vineyard in the neighboring Sonoma Valley region. That means that this wine has 10,000 times more specificity in terms of where the grapes in this bottle were grown. But does that actually translate to a better glass? Because the crazy thing here is that the $20 wine received a professional wine critic score of 93 points, while the $115 bottle scored only 92 points. This is the thing we're here to get to the bottom of. Is it possible for highly acclaimed cheaper wines to beat wines costing 5, 6, or even 10 times more when tasted blind? Or did these cheaper wines just get a lucky break from a critic with a tired palate? Thankfully, we're here to find out, because I'll be doing a 3-round blind taste test of highly acclaimed budget wines against wines costing up to 10 times more. Plus, to keep this as scientific as possible, each round we'll be testing 2 wines from the same famous wine region. First, Bordeaux. Second, Burgundy. Finally, we'll blind taste these 2 wines from Sonoma County to find out which is best. In each round, I'll let you know which one I think is the expensive one, and if it happens to be the winner, which I hope it is the winner since it was so much more money, we'll talk about whether or not the price difference is actually worth it. By the way, I'm Dustin. I've tasted literally thousands of wines, and it's always bothered me how people who know about wine make it so snobby and complicated. I'd like to change that, so welcome to my channel where I make fun, helpful videos for non-wine people. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so, because by the end of this video, you will know confidently whether highly acclaimed cheap wines can beat wines costing 5, 6, or even 10 times more. All right, are you ready? Let's get to boozing. Hey-o! Oh, look, they're the same color. All right, this is very exciting. Look, there's an extra human here.
You looked lonely. So I came all the way from Pittsburgh.
I, honest to Christ, felt lonely up here. It's been a journey making all these videos, playing pretend up in my room alone. This is my best friend in the whole world, Danny Gevins. Danny Gevins.
Hello, everybody.
There's like 945 odd people out there.
Oh, hello, all 900 of you.
In 45,
In 45,
Danny.
sorry.
Didn't
want me to
I feel like
discriminate.
It's important to
Yes.
every one of you matters deeply to me. So what we have here, you know, we don't know what's in the glass, but one of these wines, Danny, is a 2020 vintage Bordeaux that received a 91-point score from Wine Enthusiast, a very reputable professional critic, and it costs $9.99. Okay, so a highly acclaimed, cheaper wine. The other wine is also a 2020 vintage Bordeaux. It is a 98-point scoring wine from James Suckling, and it was $99.98. So 10 times more expensive.
Quite the
So
difference in price.
our goal here is simply to taste these two wines, Danny. We're gonna sniff them, and we're gonna slip them, sip them, sniff, sip,
Sniff, sip.
sniffy, sniffy, sippy, sippy. And then we're gonna see which one we like best. And it would be bananas. Wouldn't it be bananas?
Bonkers.
It would be bananas kooky pants if perhaps the cheaper wine was the better one. And if it happens to not be the case, it happens to be that the more expensive wine is our preferred wine. We're gonna debrief at the end, and we're just gonna talk a little bit about whether it's worth it, whether we feel like it's worth it. Sound like a plan?
Sounds great.
All right, brother. Let's
Wanna
get to
into it?
sniffing.
Sounds great. Hey,
It's a little sniffy, sniffy.
cheers, brother.
Cheers. It's great to see you, buddy. Ooh, you know what I like about the way this smells?
What's that?
It smells like Bordeaux.
It definitely does.
It smells absolutely Bordeaux.
leathery. Is that what I'm getting?
And there is no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
I'll let you know though if you do say something wrong though. It's important that you know that you're in a safe place.
Yes, but you also tell
in
me
a
if I'm wrong.
moment's
Right,
notice,
yes.
you could be in a very unsafe place. It won't take much.
Ride that edge.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're razor's edge there. Buddy, I'm totally getting it. It has that rich depth, right? It clearly, here's what it doesn't smell like. Cheap, in
No.
my opinion.
No.
Would you?
I would agree.
Okay.
It smells full.
Let's, it smells full.
It smells full.
Let's smell number two. Okay, this one, talk to me.
I think, first inclination, I think this is the more expensive one.
Yeah, it does have it has a deeper.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you didn't tell me, I don't know if you feel the same way, but if you didn't tell me that there was this massive price gap, I wouldn't have assumed.
I would agree.
Like, this is messaging. There is a heaviness to it. I would say the best thing for me to describe the way that this smells compared to this one is just a heaviness and a depth that isn't present in this other wine. What do you think, buddy?
You know what? They smell very similar, but this is like a 7 on the dial, and this might be like a 9 on the dial. There's just like more
like
of
that.
everything in this,
I like that.
if that makes sense.
So this is Danny. Danny's here. So Danny, why are you here besides to provide me company? You're here because on my quest to be
Our quest now.
our quest,
You've got
our shared quest.
our shared quest.
Yeah, so I'm up here making these videos alone, and it can be a bit of an echo chamber. And even more, I thought it would be valuable to bring someone onto the show that has a different level of wine experience. Danny is a total amateur. Like Danny and I have drank a ton of wine together. It's what has ingratiated you to me. Is he's always down to clown, and I love that about my boy Dan, man. But so I wanted to bring in another palette to kind of explore these expensive and cheap wines to see, is it just reserved for people who have sommelier certifications to tell the difference, or are folks who are just more hobbyists, you know, people who are just casually drinking wine also able to tell them apart, right? So that's kind of, it's all for you. It's a little bit for me, it's mainly for me, but it's also for each of you, my little booze hounds.
It's not for me at all.
I feel like you're getting paid in fine Bordeaux.
I am getting,
You know what I mean?
I am getting plenty of payment in fine Bordeaux.
All right, buddy, are you ready to give these into the sippy sippy range?
I am ready.
Let's go to the sippy
I am.
sippies.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers, brother. Talk to me, dog.
So my initial reaction
Yeah.
is that it smells more complex than it tastes.
Yeah, I honestly already feel like it's like over the hill. Like we opened these 2 hours ago,
Yeah.
which we didn't decant them, we just popped them to get a little air in them. It kind of tastes like it's already over oxidized.
I'm just not getting anything really out of it. Just kind of tastes like red wine.
It does just taste like red wine. Yeah,
Yeah.
at this moment, I would say this wine is, okay, buddy, go in a little bit further. Keep chewing on that thing. Give it a little chewy.
It's not bad. It's certainly not bad. And if this were the $10 bottle, I would be okay with it being $10.
You got to keep going with it. Once
Really?
you keep going on it, it doesn't make the best first impression, but as I keep going, what's happening for me is that there is depth of experience that's evolving on my palate. Like this wine didn't make a great first impression. It really came across like a little bit like over the hill table wine. But as I continue to drink it and as we're continuing to experience it, it's opening up more. It's that whole idea of like, oh, it needs air, it needs some time. It is in fact, dare I say, blossoming into something worth drinking. I'm gonna give this a rating now, and I'm gonna say that this, for me, this is a strong C. And so for a strong C, I would expect to pay between $12 to $15 for a wine of this quality. So if it is the $10 one, it's still a deal. It's worth the money for me. And how's about for you, Danny? Like so the way I've been doing these ratings is it's like F, D, and then C minus, like all the pluses of A's, and if you really loved it, we could go to S tier, and you could go
S tier.
S tier is God tier.
S tier. Wow.
So, what's your feeling about this thing?
I think a strong C is extremely fair.
What a copycat.
Yeah.
What an
Yeah, no,
absolute copycat.
I think it's good. It's not blossoming as much for me as I think it is for you.
Yeah.
I'm.
Well, it can be lower for you. It can be.
Yeah.
It can be a regular C then. Maybe it's a solid C.
It's better than most wines that I would get at a restaurant.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If this is a $100 bottle, I would be
Extremely disappointed.
super bummed.
Yes.
I feel like I would be in the corner, kind of feeling a
Yeah.
little bad for the team if I
just-
brought this one and it was the hundo.
The nose is very appealing, and it just
is.
isn't delivering any kind of complexity as I sip on it.
Yeah, I don't want you to drink
not.
it.
It's not.
But a strong C. I would drink it. It'd be okay. Are you ready to do this one?
I'm more than ready.
Sabrini's?
I'm optimistic even.
Here we go. It smells so good. Oh, baby. I hope this one's $10 before I even drink it. Spectacular.
It's definitely more.
Oh, man. That's so good.
I would be shocked if this were not the more expensive.
I really hope it is. I hope it's the cheap one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let me just dive back in here.
I'm getting a lot of this complexity. I'm getting a lot of the smell. I'm getting in taste.
Brother, how are you enjoying this?
I'm really enjoying this one, actually.
I am too.
What I'm really, really enjoying about this wine is that there can be a real, dare I say, overly predictable style of Bordeaux. Bordeaux's are heavy, they are rich, they are opinionated in a very Bordeaux way. They're almost unmistakable. What I am enjoying about this is that it has a lightness to it that belies where it's from. I think if you're looking for the most classic expression of Bordeaux, this is not the door I'd knock on. But if you're a little tired of classic expressions of Bordeaux, but you don't want to just, scurry away from it, maybe explore something new, I think this is an awesome pick. I really think that you would get a lot out of it in that case. Now granted, I have to be real about my rating here for this wine. I think that this wine is a weak A. So for a weak A, I would expect to pay between $40 and $60 for a wine of this quality. So it could be an exceptional value if it's the cheap one, or it's pretty overpriced at $100. What do you think, Dan, man?
I don't think I'm as sold on it. I think it's really good, but I think it's a strong B.
Strong B is 30.
I think it's a
40.
strong B. I think it's really good. I think it's really drinkable.
It is approachable.
It is, yeah. It's not anywhere close to, I would say, the A tier of the wines that I've tried in my life.
I wonder if I'm just blinded by the knowing that it's probably $100.
Yeah. And I think knowing that it's $100 and knowing, like, if this were the $10 one, it would be amazing. It would be unbelievable.
If it's the $10 one, we have just provided so much consumer
Yes.
value. You all better like and subscribe.
But-
Because how else are you going to get this kind of action? What are you going to do? Pick up a wine Spectator and read it? That sounds dreadfully boring.
It's exhausting.
Harry Potter. Yeah, I don't want any of that action. I'm with you.
However, knowing that one of them is 100, I do think that this is hands down better than the first one. But
Clear as day.
if this is the $100 one, I'm not sure it's worth 100. I'm not sure I would buy it for 100.
That's fair. That's good advice. All right, Richard, are you ready for the Richard reveal? Let's find out what these are. Man, I hope to Christ the cheap one.
God, I know.
So we thought the one on our right is the cheap one.
Correct.
Richard reveal. Richard reveal. Rah, rah, rah. Richard reveal. Okay. Oh!
Okay.
Man, I just turn around and I see this
Yeah.
guy's face. Yeah, no surprise there.
It's exactly as expected.
Okay, let's debrief quickly. Is this wine worth $10?
Yes.
Does it deserve to be highly acclaimed?
In my humble opinion, I think 93 is probably a gift.
91.
91, still probably a gift.
I think it's a little high too. Yeah, I can't help but think about other things that we've drank on the channel that cost less and are better. A great example of a wine that is from Bordeaux that costs less and is better is the Kirkland Signature Bordeaux. It's $6.89 and it was a weak B. So exceptional value, had far more minerality, complexity. It rocked. This isn't, don't buy. It's like it's still a value, but it's just not exceptional.
I think it's a great buy for 10.
Yeah, totally. Like bring it to a party, people are gonna
Absolutely.
like it,
Yeah.
for sure. How's about this, buddy? What do you think?
If I purchased this and drank it at home, I would be disappointed.
I would be disappointed.
I would be
too.
disappointed.
Yeah.
For $100, I just expected a little more.
Yeah.
Not I think, I know that there are far better wines that I would choose to buy for the same price.
Yeah, I was hesitant to buy something that was highly rated by James Suckling. I think that he has a bit of a controversial system for rating wines. There's a feeling that his wines are a little overinflated in terms of their rating. And this wine is messaging to me as one that's probably not really worth that. But it was what was available at the time, so I had to go with it. So anyway, I think in this particular case, well, okay, I guess the question is this worth the difference? Would you see a reality where this would be valuable to buy over this one?
No, absolutely not.
Me either. Buy this one every day of the week.
Yep.
In this case, highly acclaimed wines are better. I know it's this,
It is better.
This is a better wine in every way, like in every possible way, but truly, will you get more? We're not trying to compare hairs here. This isn't like, 10 of these bottles versus this. Like, we're trying to say there's demonstrably more value on hand if you were to buy this and maybe explore some other cool stuff. This just isn't knocking it out of the park, and this is doing too good of a job being good enough. So all that.
It's really well put.
Oh, Dan, man, thanks.
It's really well put.
I will make sure to deposit those Bitcoin into your wallet.
Thank you.
You don't put the Bitcoins into a account.
Slide them right into the wallet.
You slide them right into the wallet.
Right into the wallet.
There's no other place for them. What do you do with Ethereum?
I'll take any. The wallet will accept all.
I think you put that into a wallet too. How's about Doge?
Oh.
You just tear down government institutions. That's
Doge is in the wallet. The Shiba coin is in the wallet.
Oh my God. God save us all.
I sold all my crypto.
And that's why you're doing this dumb shit with me.
And that's why I'm here.
Because he bought high and he sold low. That's what I love about you, buddy.
Was that the wrong way?
I couldn't get it right either.
So confusing.
I got it wrong every time. My wife's like, what are you doing? And I was like, buying high and selling low? She's like, no.
No.
Oh, I've done it this way every time. Oh,
It's starting to make so much sense now.
So yeah, that's why I'm making these internet videos. This is my golden ticket.
It all makes sense.
I'm gonna be a star. Aren't I already?
You are already.
Mosquito.
For all 945 of us.
He's one of them.
I'm one of them.
Woo!
Here we are.
Bullet time. Oh! Dodge this. Right?
Yeah.
I think I murdered my best buddy here.
You did, and now you're alone again.
I was always destined to be alone.
Echo chamber in this void.
It's just gonna be you and me, Richard, forever up here. 945 subscribers. No one else subscribe.
I haven't seen
But
nearly.
I will take the likes though.
I haven't seen nearly enough finger guns in any of your videos, so I'm glad they're starting to come out.
You're really running out of them, Danny.
Oh man.
It's his signature move.
Oh, really?
All
It
right.
is.
So what we've got in front of us are two white Burgundian wines, which means that they are 100% Chardonnay. So the thing about the old world, when I was younger, I had a small speech impediment. I couldn't say the word world. I might not still be able to say the word world. And they were gonna give me like speech lessons, and then they just never did it. And I don't know if I got better or if my mom and dad were like, what do you need to say the word world for? Like, totally fair.
How much is that worth?
I think they got a quote and they were like, he doesn't need to say the word world. Like, it's totally fine.
Not for this.
Not for this, yeah. So sometimes I stumble with words.
Well,
Super
with a
insensitive
word.
of you.
With a word.
The word world.
With world. So speak to me about old world.
In the old world meaning they name their wines off of where they're from, not the grape that's in the bottle, right? So it rarely says on the label that it's Chardonnay, but by law, the only grapes that you're able to grow in Burgundy that are white are Chardonnay. So it's a little complex, but in a way, it's helpful because they have a much more clear style in the old world. So you kind of, I think, have a clearer, more predictable picture of what you're gonna get in a glass compared to the new world where we're just kind of like, oh, it's Chardonnay, but there's so many different ways that you can express it. So anyway, that was a very long way to say we're drinking Chardonnay from France in Burgundy. And one of these wines is a 2022 vintage white Burgundian wine. It was rated 90 points by James Suckling. He's back, baby. And it was $19.99. The other wine is a 2021. It was rated 97 points from Decanter, and it was $99.99. So we are at 5 times more expensive here. All right, my friend. Shall we sip? Or, I'm sorry, shall we sniff?
Sniffing first.
Sniff, then sips.
Yes, sir.
Here you go, brother. Cheers.
Cheers.
You tell me. You start. I want to hear your words. Not as a challenge. Because I'll jump in if they're the wrong words.
Yeah.
Don't
if
worry.
I say the wrong words.
You're gonna get an earful if you don't.
So smells like grapes.
It does smell like green
Smells like
grapes.
grapes.
It does have a grapes thing going on.
Yeah.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, this weirdly does actually smell a bit like table grapes.
It does,
Which is not
yeah.
that typical for wines.
Yeah.
But it's a very light, and I would say they're very tart grapes.
I would agree.
Okay, so let
Yeah.
me jump in. I don't want to put you on the
No,
spot.
please. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like limestone and minerality. It's citrus, it's bright, it smells fresh, but I would also not say that it has a ton of complexity on the nose, okay?
No.
So let's give this
Yeah.
one a sniff. Let's move on to the next here.
Okay.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Interesting. Okay.
This one does not smell nearly as citrusy, fruity.
Yeah, there's less going on
Yeah.
with this wine, for sure.
Yeah. This
Off of the
one's-
nose alone,
smells more like wine.
yeah, table wine.
Like,
Nose alone, I would say this is the cheaper wine, for sure.
Yeah.
They're, while not the most complex bouquet over here, I could differentiate some things, like some of those words we talked about earlier. Limestone, citrus. This, as Dan Man over here said, is the scent of white wine.
it's pretty nondescript.
There's a little bit of something at the bottom there, but the word, I don't know. I don't have a good word for it.
No.
The word just might be like grape goop.
Grape goop.
A little bit of grape goop
A little
at
bit
the
of
bottom
grape
there.
goop.
All right, are you ready to get to the sipping phase?
It's my favorite phase.
I love the sipping phase. I love that about you, buddy. I love that he's always down to what, Richard?
I'm
Are you
sorry.
judging?
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Why are you fucking judging
No,
us?
I'm just. I have the.
You've
dots
never
on
drank something in the
glasses,
middle of the day?
And dude, I'm stressed about making sure that the glasses and the wine are right, and they're good.
Okay.
That's what I was making sure.
Okay, I'm
He's
glad
got-
you,
he's
so this
gun
isn't a
shy. He's gun
judgmental
shy.
thing?
No,
Stop,
this is
stop
me.
hitting him.
But he seems like he's getting out of line.
He seems, well.
How else do you manage a
he's-
team? All of my teams, they all know. Even when they're in other countries, they get it.
Respond best to abuse.
To abuse, yeah.
It really works.
I feel like negative reinforcement is the only type of reinforcement. At least that's what my dad taught me.
I'm glad we could all sit with that. for a
On
minute.
to the
Silence.
sipping phase.
Back to the sipping
Back
phase.
to the sipping phase. Oh, that's so good.
It's very good.
Okay, I like it.
It tastes a lot like it smells. I'm getting.
It does. Wow,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm getting the minerally. I'm not getting as much of the sweetness of like the grape smell, which is good. I think this is a really good wine.
It's
actually.
really
I
good.
really like this.
I know, I really like it too. Yeah, I like what you said there. So those of you who've been watching here on the channel for a bit, you might see that often wines smell like one thing and taste like something totally different. That's one of the most fun things about it, is that you get these two totally unique experiences. When you smell a cheeseburger and then you eat it, you're smelling cheeseburger and
the
eating
same
it.
thing.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
It's not to say don't smell it, but it's just not as complex as something like wine, where you can have an entirely different experience. It's honestly kind of cool and weird that this smells like it tastes. It's a cheeseburger wine, and I think that's
Cheeseburger
dope.
wine.
I like cheeseburger
But
wine.
in a really good way.
Yeah, in a really
Yeah.
good way. For me, this is a strong B, which means I'd expect to pay between $30 and $40 for a wine of this quality. While I really, really like it, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. My ratings are based on my entire experience tasting wine. And there are white Burgundian wines that have substantively more complexity and depth than this has, but this is still light and refreshing, and I really enjoy it. If this happens to cost $10, it's a banging deal. So, what do you think, buddy? What's your rating?
I was middle B.
You're a tougher critic than I am.
I
Gotta get the Dan Man.
Yeah, I was middle B. I think that if this were the cheap wine, it would be a steal.
It'd be a steal.
I would be very disappointed if this were the expensive wine.
I don't know why I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't personally be disappointed, because I think I know what you may not know about Burgundian wines. The reds are heartbreakingly inconsistent. The white wines are definitely more consistent. But there is just some element of, you can spend a lot of money and they can be terrible. And then you can spend a lot of money and they can be toe-curdling excellent. Bordeaux is so consistent. Like, everything about Bordeaux is like day in and day out. It's a Toyota Corolla. It's a Lexus.
It's a Lexus.
It's a Lexus. But boy, Burgundy is a Porsche. Like when it's humming, and when it is broken, it is busted, and it's gonna cost you 10 grand to dig yourself out of that hole.
It sure is.
Knowing those ups and downs for me, I still really like this because I've been burnt. I've been burnt so bad on Burgundian wine.
Who hurt you?
God, some Frenchman. Some croissant-eating Frenchman. He was like, sacre bleu.
It's good. I like drinking it.
Yep.
I probably wouldn't buy it.
Fair enough. You know, there's probably a number.
Thank God you bought it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So what would you rate it for you?
I think I'm a middle B. Yeah.
Solid B?
I'm just a even B.
So you'd expect to pay $20 to $30 for a wine of this quality?
If I paid $30 for this, I would buy it every day.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, you ready to keep on sipping here, Dan man?
No, I'm still drinking the nice one.
Okay. We don't know for sure yet.
Well, that's true, but based on the smell,
all right.
we've got to guess.
Cheers, Pape.
Cheers. Is it possible that there's less going on in the taste than in the smell?
Interesting observation. I think that there's tropical fruit in this. I
Okay.
think that it's very light. There's a concept in winemaking. There's concentration and the yield that is taken from a given acre of land. These are two super important concepts when you're making wine. Yield is important, which is just like literally how much tonnage of grapes do I get from each acre? Because that number, if it's higher, there's only a fixed amount of minerals in the ground. And so if you take less tonnage of grapes, by definition, more of that minerality ends up inside the grapes themselves. And so you end up with grapes that are very, very much more potent. They're stronger, okay? But it's expensive to do this because now you're choosing to not plant as many grapes, or you're choosing to prune away potentially good stuff. You're literally trying to give more of the earth to those grapes. The second is the idea of concentration. When you're making wine, you add water to it. Like, it's not just all grape juice. So you're making a conscious decision while you're wine making to say like, okay, what is the exact amount for me as a winemaker that's gonna make this wine like exactly what I'm going for? And obviously if you're going for a budget wine, I think you have a moment where you're choosing like, I can probably push this a little further and I could put a little bit more water, and that's gonna be okay. This wine to me tastes like the one that is lacking in both of those two particular qualities. It tastes a little bit watery to me.
Okay.
Everything's turned down more than this one. The brightness of things like tropical fruit are just not really jumping out to me, which is that's a yield question. So it's like there's a watery component, concentration, and there's a yield component to me, which is like the lightness of those things. So in all, like I would be stunned if this was the expensive one. This messages to me as the much more expensive one.
This is extremely, you could drink this all day long. There's minimal tart to it. There's not, I think, watery. Like, it's got a watery flavor to it. I think that's really well put. I'm at probably a low C on this though. I don't particularly like it. I don't think there's a ton going on here.
Yeah.
It just isn't really doing anything for me.
So you wouldn't pay more than $10 for a wine of this quality?
No. And I might even struggle to do that if I'm being honest.
Okay. I'm a solid C on this one. I think I'd expect to pay between $10 and $12 for a wine of this quality, which means that it is inherently not a deal because the cheap one costs 20 bucks.
20 bucks, yeah.
So it's time for the Richard reveal. Let's do it, Richard. Richard reveal. Richard reveal. Richard reveal. Rah, rah, rah. We're a stinker. Okay.
And here we go.
Okay.
All
Ooh,
right.
There's justice in the world. What I think I'm surprised about, though, is the performance for $100 is... What do you think about the performance of this wine for $100?
I wouldn't buy it for $100. I don't think it's living up to its price point.
Yeah. What do you think about a 97-point rating?
I think that's generous. That feels very generous.
Yeah.
That would put it amongst the best, some of the best wines that we've tried, and it's certainly not that.
I think you could go to a lot of wine stores and get some not white Burgundies, to be fair. They're some of the most expensive wines, period. But I think you could get some California Chardonnays of a very particular quality level that would be in the $40 to $50 range. That would really easily beat this. Unoaked, like I know this is a very particular type of style. I'm not suggesting you all go get oaked wines. This is a potential choice that they do in Burgundy where they do not use oak barrels. They use stainless steel. It adds a cleanliness, a clean taste and texture. They do that in California too. It's more rare, but you could track those bottles down and I think you would just have a better time for a lot less money.
Yeah.
At this point, I love white Burgundy. I just don't think this wine is $100. And I think it's clear. So is it worth it? Is anything worth it here?
I don't think anything's worth it.
Nothing's worth it.
I think this one underperformed for 100, this one underperformed for 20.
But I have a crazy thought here. Which is more worth it? I think this one's more worth it.
There's just so little going on here for me that this one actually is worth it more because it does have something to get.
I think what's exciting about this wine, I totally agree with you. I have no purpose for this in my life. And I don't think any of you do either. I feel like what is cool about this bottle is that it is one of the more delicate, complex, but still very approachable wines. Like the people in your life who are still new to wine, or maybe if you're still new and you're getting your feet wet and you're trying to like get out of maybe some sweeter wines, this wine has a ton of approachability to it. It's a crowd pleaser. Like you could bring this to some really cool parties, dinner parties, picnic with people, and everyone who drinks it's gonna like it, which is rare in the wine world, I think. And everyone would be able to point out some of those flavors we talked about. Like it's bold enough, they'd be like, oh, that is citrus. And that's fun, so it gets people into wine. This wine isn't gonna do anything for anyone. So in a weird, crazy way, even though it's not a deal, the expensive wine is the one that
still
is
the better one.
It's the better one to choose.
Yep.
So shall we move on to the final round?
We shall.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Richard,
Reset.
Richard, reset. Richard, reset. Richard, reset. Rah, rah, rah. So Danny.
Dusty.
Hey, we're in the final round. We've got
are.
two very, very interesting wines here. These are the ones that were in the top of the video. We've got one, I don't know which. I don't want to point at them, but I'm going to say metaphorically. One of them is a 2022 Cabernet Sauvignon from Sonoma County in California. Received a 93-point review from the professional critic Wine Enthusiast. Okay,
I'm optimistic.
one of our most trusted sources for wine reviews. The second wine is a 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon. It received a review, a score of 92 points less in Wine Spectator.
Okay.
So they are both Sonoma County Cabernet Sauvignons. One is a 92 point for $115. The other is a 93 point for 20. Cool, right?
That's great.
And let me tell you about these wines. So what I talk about in the intro of the video, why would they cost such different amounts? It all comes down to specificity. So the one that received a 93 point is from Alexander Valley, which is a appellation in Sonoma County. It's a 30,000 acre appellation. And so that means that they source grapes from anywhere within those 30,000 acres. So that we can guarantee that those grapes came from there. The other wine is from a block designated within a single vineyard in Sonoma Valley. So that means that those grapes were planted and raised within like a 3-acre part of land. So this is, one of these wines has 10,000 times more specificity. 3 acres versus 30,000 acres of specificity. We typically highly value that sort of specificity because you can often taste a more pure expression of a place. Like when you start to blend wines from all over a place, they become homogenized. Like the brights become a little duller, the lows become a little softer. Like it's really valuable as a technique to like make your wines better if they're not so good. But in this case, we're here to see if one that was actually rated higher can outperform one that was quite a bit more money. Sound good?
Yeah.
Let's get to the
Absolutely.
sipping, buddy.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
We got to sniff first.
We gotta get to the sniffing. Did I say sniffing?
You said sipping. Sniffing first.
I've been drinking wine all day.
Sniffing first.
And you've been poisoning me in other videos.
That's true.
What do you think, big dog? Talk to me.
I'm getting leathery.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like your boots?
Like my
Like
boots.
the boots you walked in on?
Yeah, I'm getting leathery, but I'm not getting a ton of other complexity.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a pretty simple smelling wine. Like it has some character, it has some depth, it has all that good stuff. Like this is not a bad smelling wine, but
No.
it's simple. Not a problem. It's not problematic. It's just not jumping off the page to me as a $115 wine. So snippy time. More snippy. Oh.
A lot going on here. Whoa. Those could not be any different.
Oh man.
Wow.
Talk to me. What are you picking up on?
Man, there's so much more of everything.
I'm really glad you're here because I feel like I am up here alone on camera and it's like, is he making this shit up or whatever? Like this jumps off the page to you. These are different experiences.
Could not be any different. Yeah.
And it's the depth, it's the clarity. It is the difference between someone, you know, when you're at home, I have a 3-story home. It sounds like I'm living in this palatial mansion. It isn't.
It's 10 feet wide.
It's 10 feet wide, it's just very tall. This wine smells like when my wife calls all the way up to me on the 3rd floor when she's on the 1st floor. It's just, I gotta strain myself a little bit. We can have a conversation, but it's not, there's some fidelity lost in the process. This is like she's in the same room yelling at me.
Yes.
Like she is like, you parked your car on my fucking lawn. Because you know, she's like a boss.
Is she all of a sudden from Boston? I didn't know that about her.
Give me a fucking donkey. Donkeys?
Donkeys?
I have a terrible
Oh
Boston
my
accent.
God. Oh.
Richard, do you have a good Boston accent?
Of course I do.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Sorry to people in Boston.
Oh, this one's exciting.
It is exciting. Janice Robinson, she's a famed wine critic. She likes to say the term racy.
Racy.
I feel like it's a little racy. Very oaky. This is a very oaky, caramely type of thing. All right, buddy, you ready to get to the sipping?
Yeah.
Cheers, dog.
Let's do the sipping.
Ooh,
It's
really good.
what's that?
It's really good.
You like it?
You don't like it?
It tastes a ton better than it smells.
Yeah.
It does.
really
It's
Really
is jammy the right word for it?
You can use whatever
Yeah,
word you
it
want.
tastes jammy or almost berry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like coming across as a little, it's approachable.
It's extremely approachable. Yeah. It's not a lot of tanniny. It's not very tart. You disagree?
No tannins. No
You not
tartness.
getting that?
First of all, it's a safe space.
That's not what you said when you were hitting me earlier.
But we need to be honest for the people. Hold on,
Yeah.
let me get back to this tannin part. Listen. Okay, I'm getting a ton of tannins.
Oh, you are? Okay.
All right, but that doesn't mean that we're not experiencing the wine differently. Like, I don't want to be the kind of person that's like, you're right or wrong. I don't know. I'm undecided.
Except I'm wrong.
I'm a little undecided about what my persona is here. Because it's a little snobby to be like, you're wrong. But I would hesitate to recommend, if someone's brand new to wine, to serve them this. Because I do think, while approachable compared to certain types of Bordeaux blends, it's still got a lot of gusto. It's still concentrated. It's still heavy. It's still earthy. But I hear you. It's not like a liquid steak dinner like some wines can be.
You can't chew on it. Yes.
Yeah, it's not very chewy.
Yeah.
So I like it. You're a tough critic.
I think it's
Holy
it's
shit.
good. Honestly,
We need
if,
wine guy Danny.
wine guy Danny.
Wine boy.
If this is the cheaper of the two, I think it's done its job, and I think it actually is a decent value.
Yeah, I mean, I think this wine is a strong B every day of the week, and I would expect to pay between $30 to $40 for a wine of this quality.
I was gonna say middle B. I think it's a really solid wine.
I like it.
Yeah.
And so if it is $20, it's an excellent buy.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready to get to the sipping?
I'm more excited for this one.
Me too. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's so different.
Oh, this is so much better though.
It's a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better.
This is the first one we've had today that's comfortably an A, I think.
For you.
For me. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
got a lot going on.
Get a fork and knife out, team. We're
Yeah.
just gonna like,
This
it's
is
gonna like shimmy on your fork. You know what I mean?
This makes me want a nice heavy steak too.
Talk to me. What's working for you so much about this?
It's got a lot of complexity. It has a lot going on with the mouthfeel, as the pretentious people would say.
Yeah, I mean, mouthfeel, while it sounds pretentious, it's still like, we like things like ice cream and mashed potatoes because they have like a lovely mouthfeel, like your mouth aches to just get that memory of like warm mashed potatoes in your mouth, or like the cold, refreshing creaminess of ice cream. So like mouthfeel is really important. It's like a core, you know, part of why we like to eat or drink certain foods. This has a very sophisticated mouthfeel.
Yeah. I'm getting this tasted the same through sipping and then the aftertaste. This has like 3 different flavors. It like develops. Like as I first drink it, I'm getting one thing, and then it turns a little bit, and then the aftertaste is something different. It's really nice.
Which of these is which in your mind?
I think this has to be the more expensive one. I would be shocked if it wasn't.
It would blow
Yes.
my fucking gourd
Yes.
if this one was the cheap one.
If this were the cheap one, we've just discovered the buy of the century.
Yeah, it's a really, really strong wine.
Yes.
Let's jump to a reveal then. We've spoken our piece. Well, what was your rating? Are you giving it an A?
I'm giving, A minus.
A minus?
A minus, yeah.
Week A?
Yeah.
So that's wine, a week A is 40 to 60.
Easy. Yeah.
So for a week A,
week
you'd
A.
expect to pay between $40 to $60 for a wine of this quality.
Yeah.
Did I rate it? I haven't rated it.
You did not.
I would rate this a solid A, which means I'd expect to pay between $60 to $80 for a wine of this quality. So, Richard, are you ready to Richard reveal?
Richard
reveal. Richard reveal. Richard reveal. Rah, rah, rah.
It's hard because like I feel like a strong A for a white versus a strong A for a Napa Cab versus a strong A for a Bordeaux. You're talking completely different price points. Let's do it.
Here we go. Oh, look
Okay.
at that.
All right.
So, what do you make of this? What do you make of the fact of this getting a lower rating than this particular wine?
I'm surprised this has a lower rating. Absolutely shocked. I think the cheaper one is probably providing a better value. I think it's still a really strong wine for the price.
Yeah.
This is objectively better in every way.
Would you pay $115 though for that bottle?
I do think I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think I would. It delivers in complexity. It delivers in taste. It's really nice in a lot of different ways.
How do you interface that against your expectation though that of that rating you would expect to pay $40 to $60 for a wine of that quality?
I don't know. I think that I've paid significantly more for California cabs
Yeah.
and gotten significantly less.
But I like that you brought that up because I agree. This is excellent. And I would not be disappointed for a second
Not one bit.
if I paid $115 for that, even though I would expect to pay $60 to $80 for a wine of that quality. It doesn't mean that it's an instant cliff that we fall off of, that if it's $81, it's no longer of value. It just means that a home run would be it's $60 to $80. The reality is, like a lot of wines that are A's do cost over $100. And it just means that like, you know, you paid a little bit more. Like you don't always get a screaming deal, but this wine kicks ass. I think it's deeply underrated at 92 points.
I would agree.
What do you think about this one? Is it worth it?
It's $20.
It's $20?
I think honestly, it's a great wine for $20. If you were gonna have a bunch of people over and you needed a couple bottles of wine, I think it's a great wine.
I think it's a great wine too.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really excellent for the money.
Yes, for the money, with that caveat.
But this wine is 6 times cheaper than this wine, and it's really good. So
Yeah.
is this one worth? We said it's not a deal. This is a value. This
This
wine,
is a value.
These should be 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah.
And yet you're standing here telling me that this is 60, 80 bucks of value to you, 40, 60, something like that, and you're, I don't know.
I think
Square
they're
it up for
different.
me.
I think they're different. I don't think anybody could say that this is 4 times better. It's certainly not 4 times better,
Yeah,
but it is appreciably better.
it's appreciably better.
And
It
they're different.
Yeah, it's about what you're looking for. I mean, the other ones were more clear. Like, this one is murky in a really cool, fun way. Like, you're not in a bad spot with either. Boy, oh boy, if you can afford it, we both would say that maybe this is the more successful wine for the money Although it's really hard for me to say that because if you got 6 bottles of this, you would have a ton of value to give to friends and parties. This is excellent. It's just that I'm also with Danny, like 1 great bottle to me is worth more than 6 very good ones. On that bombshell, shall we end?
We shall end.
Okay, but on a high note, legitimately, answering the question, can highly acclaimed cheap wine beat expensive wine? I kind of have to say, in my heart, the answer to that question is yes, but today, the answer is no. And so, anything else you want to chat about?
No, I think with that,
time to drink the rest of this bomb-ass wine. All right, brother.
all right,
Let's go.
Back to sipping.
Back to the sippy phase. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, if you like wine and having fun, then you'll probably like my free newsletter. Every few weeks, I send out an email with valuable wine info, and I even do free wine giveaways. So if you're a cool person, then head over to wineguydustin.com. That's wineguydustin.com to sign up. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, now is a great time to do so. The more subscribers we get, the larger and more expensive these blind tastings will be for you in the future. So think $500 wines versus $50 ones. Also, if you liked this video, click like. If you want to support the channel, please check out the links below to purchase the wines from the video. It helps more than you know. And if you found this video interesting, then check out this one where I blind tasted every Costco wine to find out which is best. See you there.